Now moving on to Program 3 of the ICAO Aviation English mini-series for pilots. Part 3, Unexpected Situations. In this part, the candidate will listen to an unexpected situation or an emergency situation 2 times and then will report to the examiner of what he or she understood. And then the candidate will answer questions to follow. Now, there are 3 situations, and after the candidate has listened to all 3 situations and answered all the questions, then he or she will have to compare the situations and identify which one is the worst to deal with. Now, moving on to part 3 of the test, unexpected situations. You will listen to 3 unexpected situations between the controller and the pilots. Now, after each recording, the audio is played twice automatically, and there will be a 5-second pause between each recording. Now, don't forget, after this part, you will compare the 3 situations. All the information is once again important, and you can take notes.
Miami Center, American 2493. We are now experiencing severe turbulence at flight level 300. A passenger is injured. Request return to Miami.
American 2493, roger. Turn right heading 115 and descend to flight level 240. Medical assistance will be provided upon arrival.
Miami Center, American 2493. We are now experiencing severe turbulence at flight level 300. A passenger is injured. Request return to Miami.
American 2493, roger. Turn right heading 115 and descend to flight level 240. Medical assistance will be provided upon arrival.
Well, as far as I could understand, the pilot of American 2493 was flying at flight level 240 when he experienced severe turbulence and some passengers were injured, and he requested to return to Miami. Then the controller understood the situation and instructed the pilot to turn right, heading 15 and descend to flight level 240. He also said that medical assistance would be provided upon arrival.
So let's talk about weather. How can pilots avoid a bad weather situation when overflying the ocean?
Well, pilots can avoid situations like this by paying special attention to the weather radar, NOTAMs and ATC instructions, as well as good flight planning.
Dubai Control, Emirates 075. I had a tail strike during takeoff. We need to climb to the minimum safe altitude in order to check our systems before returning.
Emirates 075, roger. Climb to 4,000 feet. Maintain radio 120. Call back for vectors to return.
Dubai Control, Emirates 075. I had a tail strike during takeoff. We need to climb to the minimum safe altitude in order to check our systems before returning.
Emirates 075, roger. Climb to 4,000 feet. Maintain radio 120.
Well, in this case I understood that the pilot of Emirates 075 had been taking off when they experienced a tail strike. At that point, the pilot said he needed to climb to the minimum safe altitude in order to check his systems before returning, and the controller responded, saying roger, and also instructing the pilot to climb to 4,000 feet, maintain radial 120, and he said to call back for vectors to return.
Now let's talk about emergency or abnormal situations. What kind of emergency or abnormal situation can a pilot experience during takeoff roll?
Well, all kinds of things can go wrong during a takeoff roll, such as an electrical system failure, a hydraulic system failure, or even a pilot error, something like an early rotation.
Mayday, 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 Dubai departure. Sky Dubai 523, we lost thrust in both engines. We'll try to return to Dubai, but we might need to ditch.
Sky Dubai 523, roger. Turn left heading 230. Expect to land on runway 30 right.
Mayday, 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 Dubai departure. Sky Dubai 523, we lost thrust in both engines. We'll try to return to Dubai, but we might need to ditch.
Sky Dubai 523, roger. Turn left heading 230. Expect to land on runway 30 right.
Well, I understood that in this situation the pilot of Sky Dubai 523 took off from Dubai and shortly afterward lost both engines. He said he would try to return to Dubai, but he might need to ditch the aircraft. After he had spoken, the controller said Roger, instructed him to turn left heading 230 and told him to expect to land on runway 30.
So what may happen to a twin-engine aircraft if both engines fail during the flight?
Well, if an aircraft loses both engines during flight, that's a very serious situation. The aircraft will no longer have thrust or propulsion and, of course, will return to the ground sooner or later.
Now we're going to do a comparison of the audios in part 3 in relation to the severity of the situations. Now, in your opinion, which is the most difficult to deal with and why?
Situation number 1 is the least difficult situation to deal with because while the aircraft had turbulence, this is not an emergency situation and pilots are well trained for a situation like that. Situation number 2 is worse because the aircraft suffered a tail strike which could cause damage to the fuselage, potentially affecting the aerodynamics of the aircraft. The most difficult situation to deal with was situation number 3 because the aircraft lost both engines and was in an emergency situation.